Hi, it's T with Teaquilts, and today is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. It's almost 7 p.m. So if you are interested in if you're looking at this video, my phone just rang at home. That's why I'm discombobulated, and I heard my husband coming. So, but if you're watching this video at any other time, just know that it's an upload, and we are no longer live. So, hello? I guess he went back. My daughter was just texting me, and I told her I was going live. So apparently she must be the one that's on the phone. So we will figure it all out later on. So welcome, everybody. I've got to pull it up on my phone. And we still have a couple of minutes. Been a long week. I've been busy. So I'm hoping that I have the right chat room. I have 12 people showing or 10 people showing. So okay, I just saw another message because I was going to say Debbie Huey had said hi T, and I wasn't here yet. That was at 6:50. So then I got concerned with maybe the chat isn't working. So I see Cheryl Brown's here. She says hello from Michigan. Hi Cheryl, welcome to the chat. Debbie, are you still here? So. I just lost my, okay, must have hit the wrong button. Okay, so now I see Debbie's yep. And Pat Moffitt is here saying hi T. Hi Pat. Hey Debbie. Girl, I've been busy. And just so you all know too, I did record Debbie's sewing studio. I haven't had a chance to edit that yet. It's in the edit list. So I think I'm at the end of May. So just the month of June, I think, is where I'm at for editing. So I'm getting caught up a little bit better. We got Ella Scraper here. She says hi T, hi. Or he or she. And Joan Elkins is here, says I can post now. How all? Hi Joan, welcome to the chat. And we've got Phoenix BL1, I think, saying hi. Hi Phoenix. And Debbie says I'm gonna be a star. Girl, you're so funny. She has a pretty cool studio. Leetta Bryan is here. She says hi T, Debbie, and everyone. Hi Leetta. We missed you last time at Scrap Club. You too, Debbie. Y'all all in trouble. We only had about maybe 10 people there. It was a nice small group though. We got a lot done. Pamela says, let's see. Pamela Tabor's here. She says, T, I got $100 off in-store coupon from AccuQuilt for the Go Big. I'm going Saturday to pick it up. Oh my, oh my. And I think the Go Big is like, which is the electric one, it runs you like $600. They say $5.99. So that's pretty cool to get 100 off because you'll never, hardly ever see AccuQuilt give you that kind of a discount. So that's pretty cool. Ellie Scraper says, I am a she. Thank you. Sometimes I keep forgetting that we have men that quilt or craft as well, and I'm always using the she identifier. Cordelia Mawson is here. And then we've got Diane 57 is here. out of Texas. LC says, hello, T and everyone from Southern California. Have a happy and safe 4th tomorrow. I will. I don't plan on doing too much. I will be packing. And Debbie saying hi to all. And then she's asking, where's Eric? Eric's come in a little bit late. Debbie, he should be here. Cordelia says, how is everyone not having... Hi, everyone not having a good day. Oh, my goodness. You got to switch it around and be positive. Oh, Leetta said it was too much rain. That's why she missed the scrap club meeting. I don't have an agenda because I have been busy. I told you all last week where I was working on a quilt top and had some difficulty with the tension. And then I had my friend Peggy came over and helped me pull out some of the stitching. She sat for about 2 hours. And it was difficult to pull out all the stitches. I had about 3 panto rows of stitches, and I think in the 2 hours that Peggy was there, I think she had done maybe 12 or 13 inches of space, if that. So she was saying it was difficult too, but as I was working on it with Peggy, I was on a flat surface, and so it ended up being a lot faster for me. So I had been picking out for a few days, so it took me about 5 days to pick out. And then I called my customer, and then over emails, I kept sending her photos and stuff of things that I thought would work. And it ended up being that the variegated thread was not working with the quilt back. Every once in a while, we can get a name brand quilt back, and then it could be a seconds. And she actually bought this from an online shop and a reputable online shop, and I'm not going to put the shop's name out there, but when I start looking at the selvage and all of that, the selvage information wasn't there, but it was a K-facet backing, okay? So it should be, if you're paying 20 bucks a yard for a quilt backing, you should have your selvage information. And for some reason, when my needle would hit the backing fabric in places, the fibers would spread apart in more places than other, and I had a lot of little loops on the back. And it turns out that the variegated thread just was too heavy for what was happening, because all I did after I picked all of that thread out, I told her we weren't going to use variegated thread, although the variegated thread made that quilt look so beautiful, but I just couldn't do it. And I actually put in my regular threads that I normally machine quilt with, and went right back, and I reset all the tensions because I had the tension set for the variegated thread, and then everything stitched out perfectly. But every once in a while, you can come across a bad piece of fabric, even from reputable shops. So I just want you all to be aware of that. And when you're buying name brand fabric from a name brand that's been produced by name brand manufacturers, then you should have your selvage information. And it was like ran off at the bottom where you could only see the very top of what colors was in the quilt. You couldn't use it to do anything with because it was so tiny. So just be aware, keep your eyes open for issues like that. So we've had some more people come in. Debbie says she was in Arkansas. Did you go to Marshall's Dry Goods? That's why she missed scrap club meeting. Diane says, I am in bed, need prayers, heart is acting up. Oh, Diane, hope you feel so much better. Most definitely sending you prayers. Joyce Rockamore is here, says howdy from Fort Worth, Texas. Hi, Joyce. Judy is here, says, Diane, so sorry to hear that. You get my prayers. And I see Joyce says praying for Diane as well. So Pat Moffett and Joan Elkin. So you're in good hands, Diane. Claudette Bettis is here. She says, hi, T, everyone checking in from Anaheim, California. Hi, Claudette. Welcome. And we have Maxie Doodle says, dearest Lord, Diane needs you right now. Strengthen her and ease her heart into the something. But we all know you mean well. So that's pretty cool. So I put up a thumbnail that didn't show the entire thumbnail. But basically, I use Facebook Marketplace sometimes and I buy some things on there. So I just wanted to quickly talk about that a little bit. And then there are different ways that you can also use Facebook Marketplace. You can sell some things on there. They're not supposed to be made for stuff you're making per se, but people still do it anyway. So that's not what it's actually for. It is for selling slightly used items or used items, however you want to put it. So I use it a lot. I use Facebook Marketplace when I'm looking for tables or stools or chairs, or especially storage containers. One time I was looking, I used the Facebook Marketplace when I was searching for Cardinal t-shirts for I'm going to make a second Cardinals quilt. I haven't finished the first one yet, but my friend wants me to make her a Cardinals quilt, so I will be doing that. So I used the Marketplace to get more t-shirts because I didn't have any other t-shirts that I was willing to cut. So I use it for a lot. But what I have been doing recently is I've been trying to find studio dyes on the Marketplace and haven't found any yet. But I also look at sewing machines. I haven't purchased any yet. I've seen some great deals on there. And so that's why I want to talk about that. And then I will show you a couple of things that I did purchase off of the Marketplace recently. Also, while I was searching, a lot of you all are asking me what type of machine do I use for my piecing when I'm doing the videos, and I use a Baby Lock Elagio. And I actually found one of those online in the Belleville, Illinois area, and they wanted $1,000 for it. It is a very good machine. I actually love it. It is an embroidery machine. However, it does run on floppy disk, the 3.5-inch floppy disk. So if you don't have 3.5-inch floppy disks, or if you can't get them, you're going to have problems using that machine. And none of that information is put there, but I do want people to know that on the Facebook Marketplace, there is an Elagio Baby Lock sewing machine for sale. And it is an embroidery machine, like I said. $1,000, I don't know if that's a lot for a used machine. I know when I was trying to sell one of my old embroidery machines, it was a Singer brand. They were right around like $600. This machine is a lot better than that Singer brand I had as far as its features and what it can embroider. So I'm not sure if $1,000 is too much or not. But whenever you go on the Marketplace, you always want to, at first, try to reduce the price a little. So you don't want to insult people where they won't respond back to you. And so I try to give them, like, it depends on the item. If the item is $500, I might try to get $50 off, something like that. And you're just asking them, and they have the right to say yes or no. But if you don't ask, then you don't know. Sometimes you can't tell when an item has been reduced, and so sometimes they'll say, I just reduced it $50 and no, I'm selling it at this price. And so you have to do that. And sometimes I can't tell on certain devices when it's been reduced. When I'm on my phone, I see Marketplace one way. When I'm on my tablet, I see it a different way. And then when I'm on my desktop, I see the Marketplace a different way. Some of them will meet with you in public places, which is what I really like. Other times you'll have people that says it's porch pickup only. And if you are doing a porch pickup only, I never pay in advance if I'm doing a porch pickup, because it may not be there when I get there. And so then I also inspect the item, and then they'll like give you some instructions on how to leave the money. Be it you're going to PayPal, leave it under a mat, or put it in the mailbox, because most of these people have Ring doorbells, so they kind of see you when you're there. So as soon as you leave, they're going to get the money. So it's not like it's going to, somebody else is going to get it, and you're going to be stuck with having been seen getting something, but you didn't leave the money. So just want to give you all some tips on shopping on there. I try not to pay for anything in advance, for sure, because some people will say payment and they'll leave it out on the porch for you to pick it up. And it's like, no, I'm not paying for anything in advance. So recently, I've done two things. One is that I had a friend who had a long arm business and no longer is able to do long arming. So she had a sale and I bought a lot of thread. And then I also saw on the market book that somebody was selling big cones of thread. And so a lot of them were brand new. So I also bought more thread because I can always use colors, because the colors I buy may be different than colors other people buy. So I have a video on, I don't even know if I show you the thread, just tell you maybe, but I bought 31 spools from a friend, and then I also went on the marketplace and purchased new. This one was brand new. I just opened it myself. It has 6,000 yards. And they were asked, they had two lots of the thread. They had for about $2 a cone, when these normally can range anywhere up to $15 a cone. And so they had both lots. And so what I did was I asked her if she would take such and such amount of money for both lots. And then she did. So I actually got 24 spools of thread. I'm just going to guess and say like $45. I can't remember what I paid right now. And I have 24 spools of thread like this, plus the 31 that I also got from my friend. So I got a lot more color, and I even got a few variegated from my friend as well. And let me just check and make sure we don't have other people in. So a lot of people are posting that they're praying for Diane. Okay, so Maxie Doodle was saying into the perfect rhythm. Okay. Debbie says cool shirt. Well, you know, of course, it's another one that I made. I actually made this to wear when I was at AQS Quilt Show. Maxie Doodle says, what happened to your tension tee? It wasn't my tension. It was actually the quilt backing. That was the problem. And then she says, I think, Diane 57 is saying, I think that's a lot for a used machine that needs old-fashioned discs. And what I did when I got my machine, I kind of figured that the discs were going to be going out soon, because we already were into Blu-ray and all of that kind of stuff. So I went to the store and bought a box of 100 of those discs right before they stopped selling them in the big boxes like that at Office Depot. So I have plenty of discs, so my machine would be running. And same day I bought the box of discs, I also bought an external disk drive, so that way I can always get the data to my machine, in case, you know how machines had a 3.5-inch disk drive. They barely come in now with CD drive. So you have to make sure that when you buy something that's using a media like that, you need to make sure that you got plenty of the media available, so that you don't lose your embroidery features. You can still use the machine. They got like built-in alphabets and built-in like floral patterns or shapes, so you can still use the machine. But people asking me about the machine, it's there. Debbie said, no, that's read that one. Debbie says, I bought 4 chevron rulers for long arm out of Tennessee. That's pretty cool. And some people will ship and some people will not ship. So you just got to watch the details. They have descriptions and they'll put all the extra stuff on there. Diane 57 says, did she sell her long arm? Yes, she did. Because when I went, she asked me if I would post it into my Teaquilts group. Well, I did not post it into the Teaquilts group. I have a very close friend. So I called her up and asked her if she was interested in purchasing a long arm. And she bought the long arm. She doesn't have it in her possession yet. She's got a schedule for movers to come get it and then reinstall it at her house. But it has been sold. So good question, Diane. I was going to leave it out. Pamela says, I will be going back to your previous video to get the name and number of the die for the half square triangles. Love making those, and they're so versatile. And you can actually buy those in any size that you like on the half square triangles. The one that I used was 4.5 inch finish, and I was trying to use 4-inch finish and just pulled the wrong die. So just be careful and know which one it is that you think you'll use the most if you don't want to buy them all. Susan Martin is here. Linda Price says, hello, everyone checking in from Temperance, Michigan. Hope you feel better soon, Diane. Linda DeVito says, hi, T. Welcome from Rockaway, New Jersey. Hi, Linda. And Susan says, I got home from a couple of days in the hospital. So happy to be home with you all. Oh, Susan, I'm glad you're better because you're home. So I hope it stay that way. And June Hansen is here, says, hi, Miss T and everyone. So another thing that happened or did not happen in the last week, we had, I still got to talk about what I really bought, but I want to talk about something else because I saw somebody else already mention something about it. But the winner from last week's drawing, Holly S., did not contact me. She still has not contacted me. I put down contact me by Saturday. I still haven't heard anything from her. So I went on Random Comment Picker, and this time I went and did it early so I wouldn't have any technical difficulties. And the new winner for the, let me pull it off because I put it on my bulletin board behind my machine so I wouldn't lose it. But the new winner of the multicolor, let's see, the multicolor wooden iron is now Mary Johnson. Mary Johnson. She's got a cute profile picture. So hopefully Mary will contact me. I'm going to be out of the country in the next couple of days. So if she don't contact me by the time I get back home, or maybe we'll get Mary a week. If she don't contact me by next Wednesday, then I'll go ahead and pull somebody else. How about that? So let's see. All right. So what did I really buy off of Facebook Marketplace this week? I found this item on the Marketplace. I've been looking for studio dies and haven't found anything that I'm interested in buying. Either something that I already have or something else is with it, like they're selling the actual cutter, and I didn't want another studio cutter, or even they were selling the Grand Mark cutter, which is also the same thing as the studio cutter. The Grand Mark cutter is made by AccuCut, which is a sister company of AccuQuilt. So I saw this item online. I go down to my husband and I go, hey, how about tomorrow we go drive 4 hours? It was right in the metropolitan Chicago, Illinois area, which is 4 hours away from my house. Why don't we just take a road trip tomorrow so I can go pick this up, go get this? And he's looking at me like I've lost my marbles, for real, for real. Eventually, I convinced him that, you know, it was a good idea. So I found on Facebook Marketplace an electronic AccuQuilt Go Big. Okay? Price, $400. Well, no, it was $500. They marked it down to $450. And so then I asked her, would she take $400? And she said no, because she had just marked it down. And that's why I told you all that when you're looking on different devices, you may not see that somebody just marked something down. So she had only had the listing up for like 3 days. And then that day that I asked her about reducing it to $400, she said no, because she had just reduced it, which I did not know. So she ended up giving it, saying she would sell it for $440 though, because I told her that I still had to come from St. Louis to pick it up, and it was a 4-hour drive and all of that. So I go down there, and there's more that came with it for that $440. So just the machine alone, getting it for $440. You've seen in the comments where one of the viewers says she's got a a coupon to get $100 off of it. So that's still $500 that she's paying. So I didn't think that I would get the machine for any cheaper. So we drive down there, had very good weather. When we got into town, we had like a few drizzles on our windshield. We didn't even have to cut the wipers on. We came back and I decided, okay, let's go over to Walgreens so I can get something to snack on the way home. And we got into Walgreens, and you talk about it poured down. As soon as we walked in, the lights went off. All the cash registers went down. The lights came back on within like 30 seconds because they have a generator system. But it took like maybe 20 minutes for the machines, the cash registers, to come back up. And then we were able to check out, and it was still pouring down rain, and we running out in the rain to get in the car. So now we're wet. So then we got to stop and get gas for the way home. So we stop and get the gas, get some more. And then we come home. So we've had a thunderstorm. We even ran into a dust storm on the way home. And we ran into what looked like it was going to turn into a tornado at any time. All of this on the way home. So it was hilarious. But I'm like, and my husband's looking at me like, the things you get me into. So I wanted to show you what I paid for $450. So she did not have the original box. So I got the Go Big, and I've got it plugged in. So of course I got the cord. And then she had the cover that still went with it. And then you open it up, and I actually had her cut it on to make sure that we could run dies through it, and everything worked fine. So I actually have one of these now. So, and it's not like I didn't want one before, but when I had the actual Go, when I had it before I bought the Studio, I had both of them, and then I sold the Go. And I sold it because there was no need for me to have two hand crank systems. And so when they came out with the electric, I thought that was pretty good. And for the price, I thought that was a pretty good price. So now I'll put this up here. I put it on the floor because I didn't want you all to see it. Now let me show you what else came with this for $440, okay? So these items here also came with this machine. So I am just going to scooch my little self up, and then we'll talk about what is included. So when you buy the Teaquilts Go Big, you also get the Go Big Flying Geese die. So I'm going to show you the side first. And then this is how the die looks. So this is the big part of your flying geese, and then these are the two triangles. And then when you're cutting, if you want to alternate, like if you want to alternate flying geese, where you have one color flying geese and then you can reverse it, you can just put your fabric over the entire die, pick two fabrics, and then just, you know, alternately cut however many you need to make your flying geese. Otherwise, if you want to make all your flying geese the same, you just put fabric, you divide your fabric and put one color over here and then a different fabric over there. This comes with the Go Big when you actually purchase it. So when you're paying the $600 price, you get that. Sometimes they will also throw in this book, sometimes not. Now what else is also included, and I'll talk about the book in a minute, but what also could be included with this, or is included, is a pattern book that shows you how to make very simple flying geese quilts. She did not have that pattern book that went with this, nor does she have the instructions that go with the die. So that's the thing that you lose sometimes when you are purchasing used items. And I can't get that pattern book because that pattern book came when you bought the Go Big, and this die was included, so I can't go download it. Now, she didn't have the pattern or the instruction manual for the Go Big electric either, But I was able to download the instructions for the Go Big. But for the pattern book, no, they don't have that up there for me to download. So let's go ahead and talk about this book. She also gave me this Go Cube Mix and Match blocks and quilts. And you can use this with any of the Go Cubes, 6-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, or 12-inch. This book is $25. Another thing that was included is the Go Spider Web. So this is the card. She still had the card that come with it. This die number is 55487. And she even had a mat for this one. She did not have the mat. They go with the Flying Geese one, but she had the mat for this one, the 5x7 mat. This one is 55487 Spider Web 6-inch finished. And then this is how the die looks. And then I also got the mat. I'm gonna move this one out the way for a minute. Now you all know your strip dies are expensive as well. When I had my Go system, I sold the 2.5-inch strip die with my Go system because I have a 2.5-inch strip die that I use on my studio. But she has the strip cutter 2.5-inch die with the mat. So you can kind of see how much she used these. It doesn't look like it was used very much. She didn't have a whole lot of product. And then this is the updated mat. I had the old 2.5-inch strip die. I mean, this is the new die, not mat. Because it's got the, where they've got the two-tone and they automatically, it was so many of us showing how we can cut 60 degree, 45 degree, 30 degrees that they now have those measurements on the die. They even have a line, one line for you to put perpendicular pieces where you can make squares and rectangles. But if I had this die, I would still add more lines, like at least 2 more lines on here I would add. So this was included. This is probably maybe $100, $125 for just this with the mat. And then the last thing that was included was the Go Cube Mix and Match 9-inch block. Now, I've been buying AccuQuilt products for many, many years, and I have all of the things that I can do 12-inch blocks with that I purchased separately. So I don't really buy Go Cubes because I have a lot of the dies already. But I have always wanted to get the 9-inch and never did buy it. And here it is. This right here, I'm just going to guess and say it's about $220 on their site. So just this alone and the cutter, that's already over the price of what you would buy the cutter at brand new. And I made sure that the cutter works. And then when you buy the cube, just for, I don't know if anybody has not actually purchased the cube, but let me show it to you. And I see Diane said Go Cube is not cheap. I know I've had some other comments, but I'm just trying to get through what I got for $450. So this is a Go Cube system. And you have it's called a cube because it's in a box, like an open cube, like a cubby hole. And then inside they give you these things that whoops, that fit inside. And then they number the die. So the bad thing about the cube is that they don't tell you what the finished size is in the patterns. So you have to know what size these dies are. Now for my 12 inches, I just took my old dies and I just put the numbering system on my die so I know which die it is. But I can use that pattern book that I just showed you on the 9-inch, and I can also make that same design in a 12-inch. So I'm just took one of them out. I'm going to sit this up here. Maybe I'll take the middle one out first. But the Go Cube, they give you a cutting mat, a booklet, and then they might have some patterns. So they have a getting started CD. They have a mat in here that fits the size of the die. So all of this mat will fit on all of the dies. And then they also have a booklet that has some patterns in it as well. It has about maybe 10 or so quilt blocks in here. And you could, of course, use just one quilt block and make an entire quilt. So, and then they have two. Okay, I'm paused. Hold on. Let me see.